I know, it almost sounds like a fiction, but 21 years ago, even before Messi made his debut for Barcelona, Ronaldo had already played his first final for the national team. Today, it's hard to imagine a world where they aren't considered football gods. But back then, before the tournament, Ronaldo was just a rotation player at Manchester United. He had only scored 12 goals in his career and had played a full match for Portugal only once. But everything changed that summer. After that tournament, all of Europe knew his name. He became the most talked about talent in the world and finished 12th in the Ballon d'Or voting. Yes, it sounds like a success story, but to be honest, I still believe that tournament, especially that final, was the biggest tragedy of his career. Because on that day, Portugal became the only host nation in Euro history to reach the final and lose it. And even more personal for Ronaldo, it was the last tournament his father saw before passing away. As Cristiano later said, his dad always told people that his son would be the best in the world. Now I won all these trophies, he said, but he never got to see any of them. After the disastrous 2002 World Cup, where the so-called golden generation didn't even make it past the group stage, the Portuguese FA panicked. They were so desperate to avoid another embarrassment that they fired the coach and hired Luis Felipe Scolari, the man who had just won the World Cup. One day, Scolari's assistant Mortosa came running in after watching a youth match, completely excited. "Felipe, you won't believe it. There is this guy on the wing. He's like a stallion, strong, fast, not from this planet." But Scolari waved him off. "Relax. We already have Figo and Quaresma. We don't need another winger." But Mortosa insisted. "You don't understand. This guy's a phenomenon. We need to call him up." Shortly after, Ronaldo wasn't even included in the U19 European Championship squad. He was still too controversial for the scouts. Some thought he was a diamond in the rough. Others just saw another flashy 17-year-old dribbler. But when the change came to play at the Toulon tournament, the believers pushed hard for him to be included. Ronaldo didn't just play, he dominated the tournament and led Portugal to victory. By the end he was the star, and everyone who had doubted him was eating their words. It was too late to change the Euro squad, though, and it hurts even more when Portugal, without Ronaldo, reached the final and lost to Italy, the same Italy Ronaldo had beaten just 3 weeks earlier in the Toulon final. Then came the story we all know. Ronaldo made legends bow down before a teenager. He tore apart Manchester United, helping Sporting beat them 3-1. When he returned home, his phone must have exploded because United had realized one thing. They couldn't stop him, so they signed him. That's how Ronaldo became the most expensive teenager in Premier League history. Even Scolari finally agreed. Mortosa was right. The kid was phenomenal. More importantly, he became Scolari's secret weapon, his hope to turn things around at the Euros. But things didn't go as planned. First match against Greece. The whole country watched, the world waited, and by the 7th minute Portugal were losing. In the second half, Ronaldo came on determined to change the game, but as Costinha later said, he wanted it too badly. He chased every ball and made a mistake, conceding a penalty. He later scored to reduce the deficit, but it didn't ease the pain. Portugal had to win that match. Before the tournament, a Greek player even said, "Our goal is to win at least one match." And Portugal let them steamroll through. In the second match, Deco and Maniche combined for a goal just 7 minutes in. Later, Ronaldo came on and assisted Rui Costa. Step by step, Portugal started to recover. One opponent remained before the knockout stage. The eternal rival Spain, a team they hadn't beaten in 23 years. At halftime, the score was 0-0. Then something strange happened. The Spanish coach yelled from the sideline Russia had unexpectedly beaten Greece, which meant if the game ended in a draw, both Spain and Portugal would advance. Carles Puyol approached Nuno Gomes, suggesting they played it safe. but maybe because of pride or the desire to finish first, Portugal kept pushing. In the end, Nuno Gomes scored the winning goal, sending Spain home. But they didn't realize at that time. That goal also helped Greece advance to the knockouts. There was no time to worry, though, because up next was the legendary match, Portugal-England. One golden generation against another, but with different destinies. Portugal had Ronaldo, Figo, Deco and Rui Costa. England had Rooney, Owen, Gerrard and Lampard. In the 3rd minute, Michael Owen scored. Portugal went all in. 4 minutes later, Simão assisted Postiga, who equalized. The match went to extra time. Rui Costa put Portugal ahead with a signature strike, but Lampard leveled it, leading to a penalty shot out. It wasn't just a penalties, it was a movie. Beckham missed, ball into the sky. Rui Costa missed too. Ronaldo cool as ice. Postiga scored. Then came one of the coolest moments in football history. Ricardo saved a shot, took off his gloves, turned into Nuno Valente and said, "Step aside, I'll take next one." And he scored. Portugal were in the semi-finals. Against the Netherlands, Portugal played possibly their best game of the tournament. And at the center of it all was Cristiano Ronaldo. In the 26th minute, boom, he rose above the defense and headed in the first goal, ripped off his shirt and celebrated like he was already the best in the world. As Pauleta later said, that little bastard, he's just a different monster doing this at that age. Unreal. It was clear, he wasn't just a great player, he was an entertainer, one of the greatest showmen in sports history. Around the 60th minute corner kick, Figo was supposed to take it, but Ronaldo grabbed the ball and delivered it so fast the camera couldn't keep up. Maniche scored one of the best goals in Euro history. Portugal were in the final. One last step, beat Greece and write themselves into history. A team that had gone through pain, criticism and doubt had won the nation's heart. Those weeks were more than football. They changed Portugal, defined a decade, united a people. When the team bus left for the stadium, those images are unforgettable. Fans were everywhere. Some watched from planes, others waited under bridges on boats, some walked on foot. As Rui Costa said, the whole country carried us to the stadium. After beating Spain, England and the Netherlands, it felt impossible to lose, especially to Greece. Before this tournament, Greece had never won a match at a major tournament, never even scored a goal. As The Guardian wrote, they were the only underdogs in history everyone wanted to see lose. The match was decided by a single shot on target from a single corner, and that became the greatest tragedy in Portuguese football history. Like any Greek tragedy, it ended in tears. The camera zoomed in on Ronaldo, the boy is crying. It was painful then, but now, looking back, there was something beautiful in it. As Costinha said, "Funny how they filmed those tears." That's when a star was born. And if you still doubt the importance of that moment, here's one last thing. When Ronaldo entered the locker room, he saw the entire golden generation devastated, believing they just missed their last chance. And he stood up and said, "I know, it wasn't the last." And once again, he simply refused to accept fate.